Happy New Year. So today my project for the last few months has been taking the mullions off of the bottom part of the windows.
What's a mullion, Lee?
It is these cross pieces that create the framing of a window. So this all had the mullions on it, and I took this off last early spring. So I'm taking the bottoms of these off. I just did that one over there. So I'm going to take this one off now.
What are you using to do it with, Lee?
So I'm using just a regular scraper. So some windows have mullions that are built into the window, and some of them are like these, where I figured out.
Okay, I'm on the wrong side of you apparently.
So I figured out that I could use something like this to remove the pieces.
What does that mean when you say that they're
So sometimes they're integrated into the window, so they're between the window panes.
between the window panes?
Yeah,
Oh, you can't get to them.
Yeah, so these come off pretty easily. And then it's left with the goo, so I use Goo Gone.
Show it to me. Hold it there for a minute. Okay.
So I use Goo Gone just to get it easier to scrape with the blade. So I do that one, let that sit for a little bit. The great thing about these windows is they pull out.
They tilt in.
And tilt in, so I can just go to the next one. Sometimes they like to come up uneven. And then on these are metal on the outside. The ones on the inside were wood. And these pop off very easily.
And did you do anything specific to that paint scraper, or is it just a paint scraper?
Just a paint scraper.
Or spackle knife or whatever?
Yep. Yeah, spackle knife.
I guess it's not a paint scraper, it's a spackle knife.
Yeah.
So those are metal?
Yeah, these are metal.
Oh, that's a lovely sound.
Yeah, it's wonderful. So those come off really fast. And then I'm gonna spray this side with more Goo Gone, let that sit for a little bit. And then I'm gonna go back into the inside, and then this is the satisfying fun part. Is you just take the blade. The Goo Gone makes it much easier to get rid of the adhesive. So I just clean off my blade, and then I go at it again. And the angle does make a difference. So if you're kind of at a 45-degree angle on the window, they come off much easier.
The blade to the window, 45
Yeah.
degrees. So what happens if you don't do the angle right?
You just have to go over it multiple times.
So it's more efficient if you do it at that
Yeah.
angle that you're using?
Yeah, and the other thing that helps tremendously is a very sharp blade. So I was using a dull blade on a few of the other windows, and it was very frustrating.
How is it frustrating? What?
It just doesn't work well.
It take a lot of time to do it.
Takes a lot of time. It feels like you're fighting the window. The Goo Gone makes that whole process easier because it's getting all that stuff like kind of loosened up from the window.
Softened.
Yeah. So once I have all of it off, then I kind of go crosswise because there's still some adhesive. So this just sort of gets the rest of it off. And then once I clean the window, you can kind of see where you might have missed. So like there, I can feel some give. So there's some goo there.
Here,
Or
it goes
adhesive,
dunk,
yeah. I go to the bottom. So that's pretty much it for that. So I'll just let that sit. Then we go back to the outside. Make sure the window's even. I know it makes a weird sound, but
It's a pretty terrible sound, actually.
yeah. And then I'm gonna do the outside one. See, that Goo Gone has made it much easier to just let it slide across. So less hassle.
So what is Goo Gone is like a citrus base, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, you can use it for any adhesive that you want to kind of get rid of. So like you have stuff sticking on things, like price tags, when they put them on things and they don't come off very well. Just put a little Goo Gone on it.
It's amazing. It comes off so easily.
Yep.
So show that to me.
So that's
Just
all
hold
the,
it up. Wait, just to stay there. I'm gonna zoom in on it.
So that's all the the
Wow,
adhesive
one
from the
shot.
outside. Yeah, so you
Nice.
got it pretty much in one take. And then I just go along and do that same thing that I did on the inside. I go against it, and I can even see it. I can see in the reflection where that adhesive still is. So I just go crossways. And inevitably, I'll come back around and I'll find some more. So here I'll just do one pass just to get all of the spray off. And then good time to clean. The Goo Gone actually helps clean all this off too. So all the
frame of the
gross stuff from the outside elements.
So with these windows, you didn't even have to take out the screen from the window. You
No,
just
the
were
great
able to
thing is
fold
the
it right
screen
in.
is there. And then I just do some Windex.
Smells good. Smells like orange.
Yep. So I'll probably go back and do this one again, just when when I close the window, I'm gonna see more that's gonna come.
Oh, because you wouldn't be able to see it laying down.
Yep. Oops. Okay, and then I'll just do the same thing on the inside, get rid of all the goo.
Make the Goo Gone gone.
Let the Goo Gone gone.
It's like a song.
And then spray it with Windex. That's a good sound.
That's a satisfying sound. Because Goo Gone is like greasy, right?
Yeah.
It's like oily. It's like lemon or orange
Lemon,
oil.
but yeah,
or
that's
something
also,
like that.
yeah, so once you get the Windex on, you can really. So the window's still drying, plus it needs to be completely cleaned off. So you may see a little bit of the lines from the original framing of the mullions, but then they disappear.
Oh.
So for all intents and
See editing
purposes,
lines.
that
That's amazing.
is done.
So it went from that top thing with the mullions to that without the mullions. So are you leaving it like this with the top mullions and the bottom
top
mullions?
So trend depends on the house, but the trend lately is mullions on top, solid on the bottom.
Do we care about trends though, really?
No, but the sight lines are better.
Sight lines are better.
If you're sitting, that's why we did this one. It felt like a jail in here with all the mullions. There were like, I think 4.
Yeah.
Might have been 4 or 6 across, and like 4
Yeah, there were
down.
4 up and down, 4 across, because you can still see on the very edges.
Yeah, there's a little bit of, like, I think that's on the outside, but it just needs to be cleaned again.
But you can see the edge too shows where they were. If you look.
Yeah,
Right
and then
there.
parts
So
of
point,
this.
Point on the other side. So yeah.
So like here,
Yep.
I'm gonna have to do a little stain.
Oh, are you gonna use stain on it?
Yeah, or one of those magic markers. Like these need to be done again. Oh, and see, look at that. I found a little spot that didn't get done originally. See, so yeah, you can use one of those little spot.
So those little spots that I see, those are, you stain them or you use a stain, like a marker?
A stain marker, and that just needs to go along that again.
And just clean it up.
Yeah. So that's the only thing that you get from this, is that you do get the difference between what when they installed them, probably in the factory, and when they stain them. You just get those little edges, but
Right.
they become almost imperceptible once you do a little kind of clean them up and darken them.
Sure.
Yeah, and that's that. So every window's done. I have 2 more windows to do, and everything will be done.
In the whole house?
In the whole house,
Front and back?
front and back.
Nice.
Yep.
So what is it? What's the feeling that you get, the different feeling from these windows?
It feels more modern, and it feels more updated, and then the sight lines are better. So when you're sitting in a chair, you can see without any obstructions out to the outside.
Whereas
So
before, it felt like what?
that you're kind of sitting looking between the panes. So
Yeah. So now you're directly outside instead of feeling inside with windows.
right, and the same thing happened in the ones I did yesterday in the living room.
Oh, hi, Larry.
Hi.
So this window was the same as the den. It had, well, you can see so there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 by 1, 2, 3, 4. So this was
is
a
a
6
giant
by
window.
4 window when it came to the mullions. So there were 24 panels.
So you can see the little
Total.
marks there on the rim.
Yeah, so these, when we do all the paint trim that we have to do with our renovation, those will all get painted. So you can see that, but if you imagine, this was a grid that made it hard to see outside.
Yeah.
So these I did yesterday, and that was the same as in the den. You've got the 4 on top, 4 on the bottom. I got rid of the ones on the bottom. So now you have a clear view. The one here on the left.
That was our test one, wasn't it? That was the
this
first
our
test one.
So we tried and did both the top and the bottom.
Yeah.
And decided that it was too naked with having both.
But wait,
Without the mullions.
how did you put the top ones back in?
Well, I just sort of they all came out in one piece, so I just put it back in.
Are there any on the outside?
No. But you can't tell.
But can we tell? No.
But you can't tell
Do we
because this
care?
is-
No. And he popped them right back in because
Popped it right back in.
they came out as one piece.
Yeah,
so
which
we were
was
lucky.
that was probably like
Really
it was
lucky.
meant to be.
Yeah.
Because it would have been a pain.
Looks
to do
much
otherwise.
better with the top ones in
Yeah.
and the bottom ones out.
Yeah, so, and then the whole point is we have a sliding glass door that doesn't have panes in it.
Right, that'll be paint. The
So
trim will
it's
be
just-
painted because
it's
that's
nice-
new.
It's just nice that you've got like a view that's not obstructed. And that's the whole point of removing these bottom ones, getting this whole one out. So there you have it.
Very nice. Thank you, Lee.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.